Giving it all we got, giving it all we can, giving it all we got. Oh, climbing up to the top of the world, no fear, we're gonna make it. Everything we want is ours. Whoa.
Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? Uncle Craig here on the Thai farm, and it's nice and sunny now. A couple hours ago, or all morning really, it's been pissy rain. I got the camera because I was just walking over here. As I approached this area right here, right there was a big old lizard, and strangely enough, it was not one of those monitor lizards that we often see that eat the fish and all that. It was actually an iguana. I know my iguanas, and that was an iguana. It ran over here and it got in the water a little bit here. I was gonna try and catch it, and then it took off into the water. So wow, look at that, beautiful, huh? Well, clearly there's an iguana in my pond, so I don't know if I was going to sit here and watch and wait for him to come out or what. How long does an iguana stay underwater? I don't think they can stay underwater that long. He wasn't like super fat, but he was a good size. I did, what did I do today? I did clean up some more of my, where's that at? Some more of my garage, or what do you call this, my shop. Showed that last time where I put the magnet bars up there. And now I put shelves up. I put this shelf up here. This one was here, but I cleaned it up more, cut the end off, so I can put all my, those are empty boxes really, all that up there. And I put these shelves up here too, boom, boom, boom. So now I have much more room in here, organized. The bench has got more room. Still need to have more room. So, next is this part goes out, right? And I also filled my little crabby shack over here up with water to see if my patches on the floor prevented the water from leaking out. But I think I got different leaks. I saw some leaking here. This is cracked open again. It was leaking out of there. Nothing here, but it's leaking here. I can see underneath there. So still have a little bit more water than I did before, so that's good, but it's this corner that's leaking. This is the patch I put there. So, yeah. Ow, mother of God. Yeah, I figured, I think I told myself I need to remove that. There's a tree stump right in the middle. Dang tree stump hit my foot. And the lizard probably gonna try and hide in the where the bushes are. I mean, when it tries to come out. If it doesn't, because I don't think it can stay under that long, it'll come out and it'll rest its head, just maybe stick its head out to right at the shoreline, enough to get the air that he needs. Oh, there's another egg. Well, it looks like it must have fell up there. or the bird probably had just sat on the ground right there and squatted one egg out. Where is it, man? They're not, you know, I should have just jumped on them and grabbed them. They can bite, but it's not gonna break my finger. Already took a shower. Get some of that morning sweat. Where are you, man? I was gonna take my net here. My whole throw net's messed up, but it would have been enough to catch the lizard. He would have got all tangled up in there. But weird. Probably somebody's pet. He got away. There's a bird over there on my bridge, waiting to get a fish. Dude, get away from the fish, bro. Yeah. It's about noon. I also filled up my waterfall fountain pond to see. I hadn't waterproofed it yet, really, but it was looking like maybe the cement was doing a good job of it, so I filled it up just to see if it would be leaking out the sides or whatever. And it's not really leaking. Well, it's not really leaking here, and it is wet because I watered it. And that pump I bought does not do the trick. Man, the water about here, it gives good water, but when I raise the hose up here, it just trickles. But here is where it actually leaks. So I see that it's going to be here, and probably too, because I forgot to seal that up good when I made it. So I'm gonna have to wait till that dries and then, you know, seal that up again. Maybe more cement, or just I'll get that, you know, waterproofing and make that happen. Yeah. Is that a snake? Dude, what is that? Can you see that? In the blue hole right there? Can you see his face? Right there. Maybe if I take my camera, I'm gonna take this stick, I'm gonna turn it upside down. I'm gonna stick it in the hole. You can see it? I think it's a frog. That's my frog hole. This old, the sewer hole for the original hole for the toilet. Now it's home to like a family of toads. But yeah, it'd be cool if I caught that iguana. I don't know what I'd do with it. Put it on a leash. You can eat iguana, no problem. I remember when I went to Costa Rica for a little vacay. I saw a million iguanas in the trees, brown ones and green ones, and they were barbecuing them right there on the side of the road. You could pull over. We were there, or I was there. Those other people. It was like kind of a resort on the beach. I was between countries or something. I just took a short trip to Costa Rica, and turned out to be longer than I should because there was a hell of rain, and then the rain washed out the road, that dirt road that goes down to the beach, resort area. And when I say resort, it's kind of loosely. It's a bar with a light, and then 4 or 5 bungalows with fans. But great surf spot. But anyway, yeah, it was washed out, and then the one bus that would come all the way from what's the capital of Costa Rica? I forget, saying something. But yeah, so I was supposed to check out of the resort, which I did actually because my stay was over, but nobody was going anywhere in or out of that whole area until it dried enough to where they could get a tractor and maybe flatten the road, because the gullies between the mud, from previous tires or whatever. I don't know if the bus got stuck, or if the last bus was able to get out before I was checking out. But I had a nightmare. I was still, I don't know if I was still in college or what, but I didn't have no money to speak of, and I wound up sleeping on the beach in the sand for a couple of nights, and then one of the guys at the bar gave me a couple beers, and there's no phone communication or nothing, so I couldn't phone a friend. But there was a guy in the resort that worked there. I don't know if he's cleaning rooms or what, young kid, and they gave him a room, and he let me stay in his room and take a shower for a couple days until it cleared up. And then he was from Florida originally, but I got out of there. But of course, when I got to the airport, the other nightmare ensued, and that was the exit fee. It was $20, I think. It might have been 30. Maybe I had 10 or something. But I didn't have money for the exit fee. I'm like, oh my God. So I don't even think I had a pencil. But somehow I got a piece of cardboard or the back of an old advertisement sign or something, and I wrote on there my predicament story. I said, bro, look, goddamn rain's messed up my travel plans. Now I'm 20 short on the exit fee. Give me the 20. I'll give you 100 when I get home. That's how bad I want to get out of there. But nobody did it until I think a mom and like a daughter and her best friend or something. They were college level age students, and they were like, well, so what's up? And I told them. She goes, I'll give you $20. Oh, sweet. So I go, give me your address, so I'll send it to you. They're like, no, it's okay. So they just gave me the $20, man. But I was on the next freaking plane out of there, and I made it back to California. Whew. But it was cool, man. There were turtles in the water and all that stuff in Costa Rica. The food was great. It was an awesome time. Just wasn't prepared for a deluge of rain. It just started making me think of all the other islands that I had been to, and the stories that came out of those islands, or otherwise my misadventures. That was my whole thing, really, when I was in college, and followed afterwards too. But in college, much like teaching, you have spring break and Christmas break and summer break. You have all this time off. So I made it a point to save my money, whether that was scholarship money or even money that I got under the table from working and stuff like that. My student loans, I usually paid my tuition, bought all my books, and paid my rent with that. And then I'd do these under the table jobs to have side money for like gas and trips. So I'd be saving my money, and then as soon as a break would come, I'd buy a ticket to somewhere, usually an island, and then I'd take off and I'd be gone for that whole break, and then I'd come back. Most of the time also I would go to Europe. I mean, I'd do a few weeks in Europe each summer or whatever, maybe even in the winter. And then because that winter we had 3 weeks, I think, and then in the summer you had 6 or 8 weeks or something. But in the spring break I usually went to the Caribbean because my mom lived in Florida, I think, at the time, and I could just stop in at her and say hello and all that, and maybe spend the night in that, and then launch from Miami or Fort Lauderdale or whatever out to Jamaica or where else I go, the Cayman Islands, and the Bahamas, and it was easy to do that back in those days. You could pretty much fly from either Fort Lauderdale or Miami. You could fly to one of a dozen islands in the Pacific, in the Atlantic, right there, in the Caribbean, for probably $100 or less. The Bahamas, you could probably fly for like $60, I think, at that time. But Virgin Islands and these kind of places, like $100, maybe 120 max. But those were the easy runs, so I would go to those during my spring breaks, and in the summer runs I would go to Europe to get a flexi pass. I don't know if they do them anymore, but a Eurail flexi pass was like you could pick 7 days of travel or 2 weeks of travel or 30 days, whatever. I would usually do I think I only do 7 days of travel. But that was 7 days. That means it was 7 days of travel on the train. You could stay in Europe for a long time and just, you go to one country or whatever, and you spend a few days and get back on and use your second day of travel and, do it no more like that. And if you did it right, if you got on the train after, I think it was after 7 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night, I think it was 7 o'clock at night. Anyway, you could get on the train, in the evening, and you didn't have to put that date for travel. You could put the next day on there, and that way you wouldn't really lose. You could only, if you had to put that day, you might only get a few hours of train travel before you had to mark it again and use the next day. But the way they set it up was that if you got on, late like that, you could put the next day's travel. I think that's how it worked. Or maybe it was actually 10 o'clock at night. Like if you got on after 10, you could put the next day's travel date on there. So if you got on at 7, you'd have to hide for those 3 hours before 10, so the conductor wouldn't come and get you, because if they found you were on the train with the ticket that with a flexi ticket that did not have the day marked, then they could confiscate the ticket and kick you off the train, which they would usually do, probably because a lot of people abuse that. But I found the flexi ticket, flexi pass, to be the best pass. I think they actually, maybe they do still have it. For me, because I would randomly stay somewhere. You know, if you had one of these perfect tours, you know, when you get older, you know, oh, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna stay at this hotel, like, no, yeah. But when you're in college, it was like, hey, I'm gonna go to Europe with my backpack. I'm gonna go see this city, and then if I like the city, I'm gonna try and find a hostel. You know, just a bed, and then maybe $12 or something. You have a bed, and then, you know, a couple nights or whatever. Meet people, drink some beers or whatever, and go on to the next city, and do that. You know, pretty much for the whole summer. You could maybe you hook up with friends that even have a house or something, and they're like, no, you can stay here, whatever, and you hang out. You know, now I just don't see that being able to happen. It's too crowded, probably, and also just people just aren't the same, man. You know, it's kind of like hippies, man. There's no more hippies. What happened to the hippies? But those were good times, man. Good times. Made for good memories. And the Christmas break, well, you know, obviously it would be freezing in California, snowing, and I'd try and find somewhere that wasn't snow, or which is usually, I think, again, would be the Caribbean, maybe. See around summer over there anyway. But there were times when I still went to Europe, because if I was going to be in the snow, I wanted it to be like the, you know, like Austrian Alps kind of snow, or the Swiss Alps, or you know, some really cool looking town when it was in the snow and the Rhine River frozen over or whatever. Those kind of moments in time in my life where scenery was important, you know, filled the soul, you know. So that way when I returned to college, I'd have memories or something to think about, or maybe something to talk about with friends, because we'd also, you know, when you travel like that and you find all these deals, like, oh, this one hostel, man, you got free spaghetti and stuff, and it was only $6 or whatever, you know, you pass that information on. That was one of the deals, you know. You kind of found these lucky places and you pass it on. And I remember in later years, when economy got bad or something, the big hotels in Europe, like nice hotels, they were hopping on the hostel wagon, so to speak. So what they would do is they'd take a suite, like a really nice, probably $5,000 a night suite, and they would take out the beds and they would put in like 8 single beds, you know, or 12 single beds, maybe in the big room or something like that. And it was just, you know, like a youth hostel. And you would basically get to sleep in a nice, really nice hotel suite, beautiful views and everything, for the price of a hostel. But for them, if they had the beds full, you know, it added up to maybe what the price of the room could have been, or something like that. I don't know. Because maybe they rented the room out and they only would $5,000 or something. Maybe they only rented out a couple times a month for a couple nights. But with the hostels, they could rent all the beds all the time, all month, right? So I don't know. Must have been good. But yeah, you could find really cool hotels that were doing the hostel thing. That was nice too. But yeah, sharing the wealth. I like it. Well, I think I'm gonna go. It's still early, but I want to go get some wood, man. I think I need to go get those logs for the bamboo palace over there while it's not raining. Gotta fix my USB plug too. The USB plugs I had over here and over here, they both stopped working. I think it's just because it's outside, you know, they're probably made for indoors. And I think maybe just oxidized or something. They don't work anymore. I tried to fix them, but nah. Anyway, that's it for a lazy morning here on the Thai farm. My life in Thailand, retired. But it's only half of the day, so I got another whole half a day to go. Well, more stories later, huh? Alright, so anyway, hope you enjoyed that. And thanks for watching. And keep watching. And I'll get back at you.